Hello. It's been a while. Basically, the reason why I haven't been playing this game as much is because I've gotten the actual actual Alpha Sapphire, and I was gonna say Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, but I haven't gotten both. I got Alpha Sapphire, so rather than play this, I've just been playing that, and I don't have the technological capacity to be able to film that, and I don't think it would have been very entertaining to watch the way I play it. The way I play those games is I mean, like, every time a new Pokemon game comes out, is I just try and do like everything. I'll just explore everywhere, and this one has been quite unusual in that I try to catch as many things as I can, which I don't normally do. As you can see from this playthrough, I've caught 2 Pokemon that I don't intend on using. I probably will intend on using the Makuhita though. I don't know if there's the in-game trade with the Makuhita in this one though. If there were, then I probably would have tried to have done. Oh wow, double barrel. It's gonna suck for Whisma. Noisy bitch. Spelled Brendan wrong, Brendan. God damn. Alright. Well, this is Whisma's chance to prove itself, I guess. Yeah, the bad standing on my channel should theoretically be removed today, which would be kinda cool, because then it means I can actually upload videos. The first one would be a really long Necross deck profile. It's like a guide and a deck profile, but it says it expires today, but I look on my channel and it still hasn't expired, so I assume it will expire tomorrow. Otherwise it's kinda deep. Has it used Bide yet? What the hell? Why? That's just ridiculous. Bide is a priority move, no? Why did it go after Trico? I don't know. I play in between generations, so I always get confused. Like, I went back to Gen 3 and because I didn't really understand how Pokemon worked until Gen 4. Gen 4 was my introduction into competitive. So, but even basic things like like physical and special, I just didn't know about until that generation. So then I went back and was just like, what? Why isn't Leaf Blade a physical? Like, I was really confused. Oh yeah, something that annoys me about the remakes of Gen 3 is that Absorb is still a 20 base power move. Like, why? Like, you can, I don't know, make Mega Drain 60 and Giga Drain 80. I don't think there's anything too wrong with that. Just, Absorb is so bad. Is there anyone else? Yeah. I know that you just walk up, by the way. I do know how to get to Brawly, but in the gyms I like to battle every trainer, just for that valuable XP. I'm gonna heal up after this though. Ooh, that crit. But yeah, the new Pokemon games, yeah, they're still new. The new Pokemon games are really good. If you own a 3DS, I would 100% recommend getting a copy of Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. They are just really good games. Like, I say it every time that it's the best Pokemon game I've played. I said it when X and Y came out. But I do truly feel like this is the best, and it really does justice to Gen 3, which again I've talked about how much I enjoy Gen 3. But it expands upon it. The new features, oh crap, the new features are really good. They add interesting elements, like even just the Dex nav and stuff like that. It's like this is cool, and it's different, but it's nostalgic, and it brings new things at the same time. It's awesome. I don't know if it's canon, but I assume that like this Emerald and basically every game before Gen 6 is set in a different universe to Gen 6. So this is like a parallel universe to Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. And my reasoning for that is because in Delta Emerald, the Delta episode, basically, for those of you who don't know, and it isn't really spoilers. Like, it's a Pokemon game. You know the story already. You know all this shit already. there's a meteor headed for the universe. The universe. What am I saying? I just woke up. There's a meteor headed for Hoenn that will destroy the world. So they build a device called a dimensional shifter, which would transport it to another dimension. And in X and Y, they introduced the war that occurred 3,000 years ago, and I'm tempted to say Zaz, but that's not his name. I've been watching Batman related stuff. But nah, you know, the big tall guy whose name starts with Z, who you battle at the end of the game in X and Y. There's the war where his thingy-majig died, blah blah blah. That war, which I don't think was referenced in pre-Gen 6 games. There's this girl who's from a clan that like dragons, and she says that it isn't fair to use the dimensional shifter because there could exist a different dimension in which that war never happened and Mega Evolution was never discovered, and then suddenly this thing would be introduced to them, and it's like, you can't introduce things to a different universe that don't exist in that universe, which is a very interesting philosophical argument, because that was the only way that they had of saving their own universe. It's like, do we wreck another universe if it means saving our own, or do we just allow things to exist in a relatively imperfect form so that a different universe can carry on in its natural state? It's very unusual, but from that it canonizes a theory that, what the hell? Focus Punch? What? That's not this gym. That's 5th gym. Why does that Focus Punch? Oh man. But yeah, I think it's an interesting theory. I haven't really followed up on it since I thought of it, but I think it definitely makes sense. It's a way for companies to rehash all like old ideas. They've done it with Star Trek and Terminator now, the whole alternate reality thing that creates slight differences to past that we already know. It's a good thing I did go to the Pokemon Center, just because my PP for Absorb would have been too low. So yeah, it makes sense that they would have done that for Pokemon as a means of introducing the Mega Evolution idea. It's like, this is the same world which we previously knew, except there is Mega Evolution introduced into it because of that 3,000-year-old war, and it creates all these differences that previously didn't exist within the world of Pokemon. And then this reality which exists in Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and X and Y, all the differences to that world and this world, which of course you would assume are naturally because of just technological differences. You would assume that if they had the technical capacity and knowledge that they did now, that they would have made Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Sorry, they would have made the original Ruby and Sapphire as Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire now. However, you're obviously limited by technological hindrances. Yeah, the two bulk ups have just I've lost. That's upsetting. See, this is what I'm saying about Absorb being such a bad move. I've just lost now. Yeah, there's really nothing to be done. I'll probably grind for a while. Teleport, use teleport. But yeah, back onto the one success of this video. I think it's a very interesting idea. That is a cool premise, because if that is the case, then it allows Game Freak and the Pokemon Company to be creative, to really explore each generation that they elect to remake or create, but add the subtle nuances that distinguish it on its own, but also make it the same. It's like it epitomizes what I like about the remakes of Gen 3, is that they are old but the same. And the philosophy of it is pretty cool as well. It's just like multiverse theory and stuff like that. Are there alternate dimensions, etc.? And the interactability of said dimensions is also its own interesting point. Like, could our own actions affect existences and dimensions that we are not aware of? Are we able to transport between the two in some way? Are we able to interact? And what significance would that have on our own lives? But on that note, I'm going to end this video. So I'll do another one immediately after, just so I have content. I'll try to maintain this, and I'll try to beat Brawly. But yeah, I'll see you around.